Ain't nothing like knowing, you know, just knowing you good, knowing it's in alignment. Look, I got dirty gloves on, yeah, I'm still in a fight. In a contract with the Lord, I got the deal of my life. You gotta get through God to get to me. You know, the chosen one, I wear the title fit for me. Like, all of this was meant for me, it's greatness. Me and you tied it like we oceanside. And patience, I grew to know you like refusal.
It's Omar Mitchell, and back with another What's the Word Wednesdays. And today's word is purpose. But before we get into that, I got my good brother King, Christopher Jones. Look,
Peace, bro.
Peace,
King.
Yeah, you already know, dog. Listen, my brother since day one. Listen, Sandlot days. What you say?
7 years old. Six.
Right. We used to race all that, right?
Probably before that. Our moms were friends before we even were, you know.
Right. Before we
Crazy.
even came here. Before we got here. So, for real, day one, A1, like I said, y'all, Sandlot days. But let's jump right into it. Like I said, today's word is purpose. So we're coming to you guys, just about to drop some jewels on purpose, man. Like, I've been the owner of Life Jacket Lifestyles for about 6 years now. He's owner of ChickennChips. You know, and we out here, guys, just really living our purpose. So, you know, with that being said, I always, you know, come with these videos just to show individuals that's coming up under us, or even individuals that's above us that still need inspiration, just to give them some insight and let them know where we're coming from.
They still need it too.
Yeah.
No matter how high.
No high. Exactly.
How high you are, you always need inspiration.
Facts, man. Yeah. So, what I'm doing is asking you, my brother, to let you know the individuals know that's tuning into the YouTube. What the purpose is, what drove you, what was the drive behind this, what gave you the purpose to start ChickennChips, and you know where you're going from here on out. Like, give us a little backstory and
right.
You know, all of that stuff.
Man, I mean, well, you know, growing up in Willingboro, we don't have many opportunities for ourselves. Like, you know, it's a small town, so you know, working in the industry, working in the restaurant industry for years. You know, just working at, you know, I used to work at Ruby Tuesdays back in Willingboro.
Remember that? Yeah. Was that Route 130?
Route 130.
Yeah, I remember.
Route 130.
Yep.
Shout out to Ruby Tuesdays. Shout out to my boy Ryan
Yep.
Kent. Gave me a job when I needed it. I remember that.
Shout out.
Man, you know, Ruby Tuesdays, I started as a server, and then, you know, I worked at Marriott for years, you know, worked in different hotels. You know, in Jersey, you know, the hustle, if you're not doing something illegal, then you working like 3 or 4 jobs.
Correct.
You working like to have some money in your pocket.
That's very true.
You know, and so that's what I did. You know, the illegal stuff didn't really work out for me.
Right.
So
Same here.
Right.
Same here.
So I decided to get as many jobs as I could. So I was working as many jobs, bro. Like anything I could get my hands on. Right. You know, like didn't matter where it was. I was never too proud to work anywhere. Like I would work anywhere, bro. I worked at McDonald's, bro.
Right,
you know, I worked at Ruby Tuesdays, Marriott.
Right.
Like any job that I can get, I would get. And it's funny, like I had to learn over time that instead of getting like 3 or 4 jobs, just find one job that's going to pay you enough that those 3 or 4 jobs pay you. You know.
Right.
And so I learned that. And I started to get higher paying jobs and better companies, higher paying companies. And I got into the corporate world, you know, and that was cool. So I was in the restaurant industry for maybe 12 years before I decided to like open my own spot. And, you know, it's funny because like even like in my journey,
right.
Like some of our people from Willingboro, like Bear, shout out to Bear from Willingboro. Like Bear opened up his own cheesesteak spot.
Right.
He had his own wing spot. In Willingboro.
Nice.
And like Bear was one of the first like guys that we grew up with that I knew like damn, like he opened up his own restaurant. Like
Shout
it's
out,
possible,
Bear.
you know? And so like coming to LA, you know, I still, even when I moved to LA, like I still worked for other people. Like
right.
it was bigger opportunities, like, you know, nightclubs. I was managing nightclubs. I was working at resorts, but I was still working for somebody else.
Right.
And you know, after you working 12 years for other people, you know, like, don't get me wrong, like, Marriott is a great company.
Right.
They take care of the employees. They, you know, I got to travel around the country. I got to meet different people, learn different things.
Right.
If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Marriott and all the other jobs, then I wouldn't be able to know how to run my own business, to be honest with you. So you got to start. You got to start somewhere.
Right.
But after a while, you just become like a hamster in the wheel. You just like start running in the same place.
Right.
The wheel is always spinning, but you're not going nowhere. And I was just like, you know what? I got to get up off this hamster wheel. And it took a lot of, like, I left the job paying the most money I ever made in my life. Like I had to walk away, but I wasn't happy there.
Right.
Like I felt like a slave. You know, I wasn't appreciated.
Right.
You know, and for a while I went with it.
Right.
But when you not happy, it doesn't matter if you're doing what you love.
Right.
If you're not happy at doing what you love, then you're not gonna be happy. Like it's
At all.
like
Yeah.
like it could be what you love doing.
Right.
But if you're not happy doing it, then it's gonna become
It still feels miserable. It feels like, what? Why do I gotta do this? Or I don't want to wake up. Like I love to wake up, but still it's like, why am I waking up to do this?
Yes,
I get
yes.
exactly what you're saying, bro.
You know, and then I started, you know, like before I even thought about opening my own, I started like getting books like how to run my own business.
Right.
You know, how to build this, that, and the third, how to build my own website.
Right.
You know, I started doing photography first. Like I shout out to Sharon Barber, my big brother.
Shout out.
Like being around him,
He's dope.
man,
Super dope, bro.
Sharon, make sure you follow Sharon Barber.
Yeah,
Shout out to Sharon,
yeah.
the guy.
Shout out, yo.
And Sharon Barber, you already know.
Fire. I get inspiration from him too. Listen, he is fire.
You know, following Sharon, I like learned how to like use like my creativity in a different way. You know, I watched him and how he took photos and how he edited photos and how he, you know, made things, you know, with his mind.
Right.
You know, and we can't all be as genius as Sharon, but I took little things from being around him.
Hey, but we all have the genius in us.
In us, yes, we do.
So you just
We
gotta
do.
find it. Just gotta find it.
And so, just being around him, I learned how to do photography and take photos. So before I even opened up the restaurant, I was like, you know, forget this, I'm gonna be a photographer. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna just, you know, I built my website.
Right.
I was like hitting up people like, hey, can I take photos of your house? Can I take photos of your, you know, can I, you know, models,
Right.
whatever. Like, I was just trying to take pictures of whoever I could, and it worked out for a while. And then the food and beverage came back because, you know, I was able to. The great thing about living in LA is that, you know, you have a lot of millionaires and investors that live in Los Angeles.
Yes.
You have millionaires and investors in Jersey as well, but they're not as vast as they are here.
Right.
You know, some of the world's richest people live in California. And so when you surround yourself around those type of people, you attract that. You attract, you know, the wealth. You attract the business. You attract, you know, especially when you align your mind with what you want, you know, you attract that abundance.
Yep.
And so I was able to attract investors. I was able to attract business partners.
Right.
You know, I would even make a vision board.
Right.
And on my vision board, I would write the amount of money that I would want to make. I would write, you know, what I wanted to have. I would write business partner on my vision board.
Right.
And like literally, like if you look at my vision board, like most of the things that's on my vision board now have been fulfilled. And so I just like kind of transitioned from, you know, photography into, you know, I left the job that I was working. I was like, you know what, I gotta leave. And that's the thing. It's like when you ask in the universe for something, like if you say, oh, I want that car right there, right? But you don't want to get rid of your old car, the universe can't bless you with the Benz if you're still driving your Toyota.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a smaller analogy, but like basically you got to let go of things in order for the universe to be able to open up,
You have to
reward you with something else. So I had to leave that job to open up the channels so that the universe, so that God could like see, okay, I believe him now.
Yep.
Like if you still holding on to the old,
Right.
God gonna be like, I don't believe you. Like you still holding on to that. You gotta let that go. And I had to let it go. I had left, bro. I had no plan.
Right.
I had a little bit of savings, but not like that.
Right.
I just left because I was miserable, and like so many people are like working a job that they don't love,
Very true.
because of the money.
Very true.
And you're actually downsizing yourself when you do that. You're actually like on a video game, you go up a level. Like when you pass a level, you go up.
Right.
When you working at a job that you don't love, you're going down a level.
Right.
Actually, like
Great
it's taking your magic away, I guess.
Your
Would you say
mojo,
like your
any-
mojo, all of that.
Yeah,
like
everything.
it's just taking it away. Like, and so I had to leave. It was so hard for me to leave, but I kind of just left. I was aggravated, and I was like, you know what, I'm putting my 2 weeks in, and I left. But it was so empowering to do that. Like when you walk away from something that's not serving you, it was so empowering, and I left. And then just God made a way, bro. Like everything started to come into play, and I also started to manifest it too. So yeah, we opened up Chicken and Chips November 2019.
Right.
November 25th, 2019, and we've been open through the entire pandemic. We never closed.
Super fire. Super fire.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Like
blessings upon blessings.
Super blessings. Like,
yes.
Like I remember when the mayor came on TV and was like, everything, shut down, mandatory shutdown.
Right.
Curfew.
Right. Everything. I remember.
And the one thing he said was all restaurants. He said all restaurants must shut down except for takeout and to-go restaurants. And when he said that, like literally, like I just basically popped the bottle of champagne. I was like,
Heavens opened
like
up, yeah.
Like it was just like crazy.
That,
It was just like amazing, bro. And so we were able to stay open, and we were actually the busiest time for our restaurant was during the pandemic. And I use the Forrest Gump analogy. Forrest Gump is, I always say this because it's like it was perfect analogy. In the movie when Forrest had the shrimp boat, he got the shrimp boat, and he couldn't catch no fish. He was like, he couldn't catch anything, and then he went to church and he prayed, and then God sent a storm, and the storm wiped out every boat on the sea except for his boat. His boat was the only boat standing, and after that he caught all the fish. And that's kind of like what happened with us. Like God sent a storm, a pandemic, shut down every restaurant in LA, the biggest city in the world, one of the biggest cities in the world. Shut down every restaurant except for ours. And we were busy. We were busy. The line was around the corner. So like it was such a blessing. Like, and sometimes that'll happen, like when you go out on your own, like when you go into a new city, or you leave a job that you always wanted. Right. Like God will send you tests to see if you're really ready.
All the time.
So so the test was like, all right, I'm gonna send you this pandemic to see if you can withstand the storm, to see if you really can withstand it, and we still standing,
still
Chicken
hit.
Chips.
We still hit.
That's
what I'm talking about, my brother. Congratulations on that, like, bro.
Love you, man.
Listen, purpose, guys, and listen, we feed off of each other, so that's been fueling me. Little do y'all know, man. Just touch a little bit about me, like Life Jacket Lifestyles. Coming from North Carolina, well, starting back from New Jersey, as he said, had to make it out of there first and foremost. So doing that, like you said, with the trials and tribulations of the illegal stuff, to all the different warehouse jobs, to the paper routes, to food. I worked at Taco Bell too, bro. Like I did all the types of stuff too, Red Lobsters and all of that. You know what I mean? Like
Taco Bell.
for real, all on Route 130 as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, just coming from that, and making my transition from there to Washington, D.C., where I started American Airlines, well, actually Piedmont Airlines, which opened up my eyes, man. I had to leave Willingboro.
Wow.
And I went to D.C., and once I got to D.C., that's when it really, my life changed, pretty much. Like, everything started opening up. Like I said, man, working for Piedmont Airlines, and that really just got me to travel, seeing the world. My mind was already traveling, but I physically wasn't. Now I had the opportunity to. I started to see exactly how other individuals around the world were operating, which gave me more insight to like become who I wanted to be.
You were meeting people too. You were meeting people on the planes. I remember you telling me stories,
all
bro.
Of that, man.
I remember you called me like, yo, I met this investor, I met this,
Right.
If you don't go, if you don't leave, you're not gonna meet the people.
Right, facts.
You're gonna be around the same people.
And he talking about, like, I remember just reaching out, just checking in one time, calling him, say, hey, I'm on the way to Hawaii. I'm about to do a restaurant. You was opening a restaurant in Hawaii. I said, man, this is years ago, guys. I said, this is huge. So stuff like that, played a big part and factor in my life. I said, wow, my brother doing big things. I got to figure out my lane, which hence came Life Jacket Lifestyles,
Wow.
Sarah Stories, Stay Aware, Rise Above It. And I mean, the list goes on. I have stories for days, but like to come full circle real quick, the purpose of it is now just to shed light on everybody's story, man, because we all have one. And the purpose for this platform is really all individuals, no matter where you're at in life, we're all one. So you can use this platform, whatever, music, dance, food, traveling, anything you're doing, clothing, auto repair, it don't matter. If you're starting something, I got you. You can jump on this channel and listen. The sky's, well, not even the sky, it's infinite. So
Infinite limits.
It's infinite limits. You know what I mean? So it really is just that, guys. So like I said, we come just to drop jewels and share stories and just really touch bases with y'all to let y'all know that it's possible and we're doing it. And all you gotta do is continue to follow. We're gonna continue to share.
Tap in.
Yeah, we're gonna tap in with y'all always. And look, I don't know what else to say, but it's just love, light, and peace always, with us. And with that being said, is peace, love, and respect. And you always got Sarah. Stay aware, rise above it. Yeah.
Proposals. Built an alliance with the few to take this movement global and double down on every promise that they used to owe you. Shalom, I meet you in peace. For the niggas steady grilling us, trying meet you with beef. Stay out the way of the role players and the soul snatchers. Protect your energy, your enemies gon' go after. Shit is real as the middle of the Mecca, or standing in the middle of the hectic unprotected. I've been dodging demons, dodging exes, dodging stresses. Put it all out on the line and I just hope you get the message, my baby. Cause I got cold game from niggas with code names. Get it in and get it hit by hair like Rogaine. I was built different. The shit we been through was bananas and we still tripping. We in the field with it, but this ain't the zoo. Yeah, we from the wild, but we made it through. Ain't no dance, but this routine got us making moves. Foreign whipping. Flights for foreign trips to see them stars different. Made it out 2020, thankful we ain't lost vision. The journey's never easy, but it's worth it. The bigger picture's hardly ever perfect, no. There ain't nothing quite like purpose. No, there ain't nothing quite like purpose. The journey's never easy, but it's worth it. The bigger picture's hardly ever perfect, no. There ain't nothing quite like purpose. No, there ain't nothing quite like purpose, no.
You made it to the top of the hill, but not without scars and bruises. Right now, I urge you, in your breath, in your eyes, in your consciousness, invest in the importance of this moment. Look down over what you conquered and appreciate what God has brought you through. Everything that you fought for was not for yourself. It was for those that come after. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop, you would rather find purpose than a job. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When I dare to challenge the system that would relegate us to victims and stereotypes with no clear historical backgrounds, no hopes or talents, when I questioned that method of portrayal, a different path opened up for me, the path to my destiny. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time.